Old Orchard Beach used to be nice. Those wild Canadians coming down, cutting loose. They think that LL Bean is their Giorgio Armani. Canadians. They're like, oh, honey, put on some Bean tonight. I'm wearing Bean right now.
Check them out and make sure it sound right, boys.
Everybody, what's happening? What's good with you? A and B show back once again, like we never have left. Sean Valancourt is here with me, Brad Tesh, your host, as always. Coming from the blustery, wintry PNW Wonderland, Pacific Northwest, to talk all things sports. Sean, good morning. How are you?
Morning. What a wonderful, like winter in the PNW just means a little bit of rain, right? Got to take that.
Some wind and some
rain and wind. Unlike winter in Toronto, where the only thing that'll warm you up is fake news.
A hot stove that wasn't hot at all.
Dude,
looks like you guys fell for the old hot stove at Home Depot trick, huh? Where it was just like lit but not on fire.
Yeah. I don't know what Toronto media. You would think that Toronto media has learned its lessons through the years, right? But no. And I get it. Shohei Ohtani is a big name. Probably the biggest name in baseball since Babe Ruth. When you think about what he has done as far as pitching and hitting, right?
Okay.
But yesterday was a fiasco. Nothing was verified. And then all of a sudden, internet sleuths are all over the place. People are just picking the story apart, thinking that Kikuchi apparently rented some restaurant in Toronto at 5:30 to celebrate some sort of birthday or anniversary or whatever. And everybody was making assumptions that at that point that Ohtani is going to show up to this party and all of a sudden it's going to become a press conference. Like Sports Center, my phone was blowing up from people that listen to the show out there in Toronto going, hey, why aren't you going live about this Shohei Ohtani deal? I'm like, is it a deal? I didn't hear anything about a deal. And I'm picking it apart. And it's like, okay, so far the only people that are coming on are these like other podcasters going live to YouTube, getting 2 million views. Sweet. Reporting fake news. Fake news.
And we here at A&B pride ourselves on journalistic integrity.
Or we're just lazy. One or the other. I don't know.
No, we knew that Ohtani operates on a different set of rules. And if that was out, at least I knew that.
Yeah. But okay. So like
there was a lot of smoke though. Do you know what yesterday was for Ohtani?
What was yesterday for Ohtani?
Yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of him announcing he was coming to the major leagues.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah.
So that gave that anniversary restaurant deal some juice, right?
A little bit of juice, but not much because
if he wasn't so principled, right, which he's proven to be over the years, all the way down to being pissed off they wouldn't let him play at the end, right. And him storming out of the thing and all that, and him saying, hey, if it leaks out that I've taken a meeting with you, like I'm taking you off my free agency list.
Right.
If we didn't know that, I would have been full hook, line, and sinker on this Toronto business.
Yeah.
But because I knew how principled he is, and maybe it's because of my dealings with Ichiro the last 20 years of understanding, how prideful those players can be.
Right.
I was like, I don't know, man. Seems like a lot of pomp and circumstance for a dude that doesn't like pomp and circumstance.
Right. Like here's the thing is that in Toronto, I know he would be worshipped just like Kawhi was. Kawhi was like he was going to be able to eat places for free, like all this crazy offers coming out of the woodworks, right? But I thought to myself after I heard the exact same thing that you did, right? Like nobody should be leaking, that I'm meeting with people. I don't want people to like basically he was getting worried. And the thing is that human nature, of course you're gonna want to know. You're gonna send reports. Reporters are gonna look, you're not an unrecognizable person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get that. People are curious. I understand you want to protect your privacy. But when I heard that I think it was the GM or the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers put out that, that he met with us, but there was nothing like, cameras on the ground and there was no people going flooding into the internet. Like it wasn't what happened like in Toronto. And it was so like, it was like history repeating itself. Because it was like when Kawhi Leonard was supposed to fly in and take a meeting, and then they were following. Remember that? There was like the fake cars that were going this way, and then the real car was going this way, and people were following the fake. Like it was something out of a movie. And it's like this is what happened in Toronto. It was something out of a movie. Like, oh, he's going to this private terminal is coming out from there. It's going to drive down to Rogers Center. I'm like, what is going on? Like, nobody can get answers on this. They're just going to town. And if I was Ohtani, I think I'd be a little bit wary. And trust me, I'm a Blue Jays fan, Brad, through and through. But Toronto media does this all the time because it's so desperate for a winner. It's just like, the news of somebody coming is bigger than winning the championship.
You know what the main problem is, Sean?
Tell me.
Is that Toronto doesn't have NFL football. If you had NFL football, this wouldn't even be a big deal because right now the rest of the world is consumed with NFL football and we don't care. We'll love it when he signs somewhere, right? That fan base will be excited and over the top and all those things, and there'll be parades and, all the things Ohtani deserves.
Yeah,
but no one cares if he's coming to town. You know why? Because their team's playing.
I think it's going to be in the next little bit. I think we'll find out what's happening with Ohtani. I just hope whatever Toronto did,
$600 million. Someone's going to pay him $600 million.
But is he not worth it? Does he not put butts in seats? I mean,
he's 100% worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's worth more than that.
Yeah, he's a player that will change the dynamic.
He's worth so. This is how much money he's worth. Get this. This is how I feel about it. The New York Yankees traded with the Boston Red Sox, and it's something that hasn't happened in one of the last time there was those two hate each other.
Yeah.
For Verdugo, who's on the final year of his deal, who we agree is a fantastic baseball player, all-star, right?
Absolutely.
Offensively talented.
Right.
Plays in the outfield.
That's right.
And then they went and got Juan Soto.
That's right.
From the Padres for a lot of players.
Yep.
Also in the last year of his deal. And they're hoping
correct.
to keep at least one of those to overpay because they need to get geared up for wherever Ohtani is going.
Right.
And they want to be relevant.
Right.
But they made those deals that they pinned out because Soto can't play anywhere but the corner. Verdugo's only played in left field.
Right.
So now that puts Aaron Judge, all 6'7" of him, as the opening day center fielder.
It's not a position he's unfamiliar with.
But Aaron Judge is your center fielder for the whole year.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not a position he's unfamiliar with. Who knows?
I agree, but not ideal.
No. Who knows?
Defensively, you go Verdugo, Judge, Soto.
Yeah.
With Juan Carlos Stanton as your backup, right? He's gonna be DH most of the time, but he's your alternate.
Yeah,
outfielder. But that's the moves they made. That's the money they're going to spend this year and in the conceivable future.
Yeah,
just to counterbalance wherever Ohtani goes.
Right.
Because we're assuming he stays in the AL.
Right. I think honestly, compared to what the Yankees did last season to this season, I think it's just a show that we have to do something because they weren't relevant last year. Everybody knew coming out after the offseason they weren't going to be relevant because they barely made any signings. They barely made any trades. So I think that they had to do something huge to become relevant again. And same thing with Boston. I mean, Boston wants to remain in that area there as well, right?
Yeah.
I think San Diego is now looking at that their time is coming to an end as far as everything is concerned with that team.
Well, they need pitchers. They only have one pitcher on staff.
Right. But Soto is he's a great player as well, right? So I mean, now you have Soto and you have Verdugo. So my question becomes: is John Carlos Stanton irrelevant on that team? Can you make a deal to maybe get some center fielder?
Oh, he's playing DH. You can't take his power out of the lineup.
Yeah, but then you could argue.
Think about that four. Think about that. That's the four, right?
Right.
You get a leadoff hitter. And, they have I don't remember what his name is. They have a little second baseman that's fast, and he's a leadoff. And then 2 through 5 is the 4 players we just named.
Yeah.
What are you doing if you're an opposing coach?
Well, Stanton is not the same player that he was just even a few years ago. Like, he's not the big threat.
Yeah.
He's not the big threat. His batting average is down.
Yeah. If he's not going to play every day in the field, though, if he's only going to DH.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great DH. Yeah. But then, I mean, arguably, you can then look at somebody to like fill that center fielder position and literally have Aaron Judge DHing for you.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's stop talking about the Yankees because it's gross.
I hate it. I don't know why you brought me down that road, but yeah. Okay.
Just to see if we could. Back to last week's football schedule. Not as gross. So while we're on the Wayback Machine.
Not as gross. And Brad, kudos. You got some things more correct than I did.
Yeah. Some big things, actually. We're talking about things, but I'll let you toot my horn for me because
Isn't it better if I toot your horn? And that sounds so weird. But isn't it better that I do that than you just sounding like some sort of conceited, arrogant, smug there? It's like 100%. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey.
100%. We'll start on Thursday at the bad game for me. Seattle went into Dallas. We talked about this though, right?
We did. And I said 9 points. I said 9 points for Dallas. You said no, it'll be less than that. You were right. But the thing is that they almost pulled that thing out. Seattle almost pulled that thing out in AT&T.
Seattle maybe figured out some things offensively against the very vaunted Dallas defense. So
yes. But the thing is, though, is that their offense was still yet able to go off Dallas's offense. Like there was no stopping. Your defense right now is, I mean, as good as it's been, you can't figure that out, and it's not going to get any easier.
Sure. We could talk about 2 very important penalties that happened that were direct relation to 14 points.
Yeah.
That were non-penalties, right? So
very true. Very true.
On third and long. You know what I mean?
So when you think about that, how far off are we from like robo refs? Because it's been a bad year this year. It's been a bad year.
I know that you don't watch college football. College football has a ref in the sky, a sky ref essentially, and they will buzz down when they see something that didn't, you know what I mean? To correct something.
It doesn't jive, yeah.
That doesn't go to it. The NFL has to go to that, and they also have to make all things reviewable.
Right. So,
and not by the guy that's on the field. It can't be the guy. Right. They need to have a crew that is just review, and they need to have, like baseball does.
Yeah.
Not the guy he can't be reviewing his crew's call, because we saw them when they reviewed pass interference and they turned over like 2 out of 100 or whatever. It's stupid because they're not going to make,
Right.
So that
anyway,
has to happen.
I did want to say this. Thank you very much for not rubbing the Michigan-Ohio State game in my face. Thank you. Of course, Ohio State's gone. You should be ecstatic. The Huskies made it to the CFP.
Yeah.
You should be ecstatic.
Cool. Yeah. I wish they were going to the Rose Bowl, but we'll figure it out. I'm happy to have Texas, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I
We'll
mean,
talk
you have
about that
great-
more next week.
Yeah, you have a great shot. You have a great shot at actually being at the championships. All right,
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Then we had actually what turned out to be a decent game. The Indianapolis Tennessee game went to overtime. It was a fun game.
Now, I picked that one for the Colts. I think you picked the Titans, but
Yep.
tomato,
it was
tomato, whatever.
Yeah,
It was so close. So close.
In the worst game of the week, we had the Chargers and the Patriots game.
Chargers of the Patriots. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty gross.
I'm going to tell you the worst stat maybe of the week. You want to know what the rushing leader was in that game?
Tell me.
Ezekiel Elliott, 52 yards.
Nice. Nice.
He had,
Resurgence.
he had 42 of those on the first drive.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Anyway, moving on. Detroit, New Orleans was a good game. That was fun with Detroit pulling it out.
And you know what? I told you that too. I said, hey, they got to exercise those demons. They get to do it against the Saints. Why not?
Yep.
Sorry, Saints.
Worked out well. Atlanta.
Falcons are number one right now in their division.
The who?
The Falcons.
The Falcons?
The Falcons.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Was it Star Wars? The Falcons. Come on, Sean. Falcons. Say it with Falcons.
Falcons.
There's not two L's in there.
That's right. It's not two L's. It's Falcons.
Well, then it'd be Falcons. Falcons.
Falcons.
With the right emphasis on the right syllable.
All right, we'll get an English major to come out and correct us here, okay? Eventually. Anyways, though,
only if you know one. Moving on, Arizona Pittsburgh was a terrible game, I think, for Pittsburgh fans. And then again, we saw Pittsburgh really on the slide.
Is it? I mean, Pittsburgh fans, they're they're still in the playoffs. Sure, the Rams destroyed the Browns. Yeah. So we're not going to probably see three teams.
Yeah, I know, but still, North. Just I thought that the Houston win was big. Miami did what that Miami was supposed to do to Washington. This Tampa Bay beat Carolina, which was unbelievable because Tampa Bay had no business winning that game. And then the two games of the week, I think that were really fun games to watch, depending on what side of the fence you're on, is San Francisco beat the living door.
Oh, that wasn't even a contest. And remember I said that too. I said, no, the Eagles are not. San Fran's going to put a pounding on the Eagles. The Eagles are paper tigers, okay?
Yep.
So Deebo Samuel, that guy should be an MVP conversations just for his team. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think if the MVP conversation is not stat related, which I think you and I both agree it should not be.
No, it should be about how you influence your team.
Yes, right. I love that about the NBA. The NBA has like a wins per minute calculator, right? Like wins replacement, right? Mm-hmm. And same with baseball, right? The WAR, right? Wins above replacement numbers. Deebo Samuel probably leads the league in that category. When he's on the field, that team is unbelievable. And then Kansas City just getting,
what's going on here? Jordan Love is resurging now.
Yeah,
they're in a playoff position, Green Bay.
Yeah, Jordan Love looking better than Patrick Mahomes in that game.
Yeah, there is problems in KC.
Yeah.
Now it becomes more and more apparent that the road to the Super Bowl goes through Baltimore, I think, than it does through KC.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Yeah.
And then in a game that surprised you but not me, Cincinnati wins in Jacksonville.
Yeah, but
what?
I mean, good for Cincinnati. You keep your playoff hopes alive and everything. Trevor Lawrence goes down with a high ankle sprain. Who knows if he's going to be able to play? And I feel bad for the Jaguars because
they haven't ruled him out for tomorrow's game. And I guess to be fair, folks, we're recording this on Saturday morning before week 14. So
yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, I would rest Trevor. You have nothing else to prove right now. Yeah, Texas is the Texans are hot in your tail, but resting, I mean, I don't know. It's so difficult because if you do play, you do have a chance then as Jacksonville to be the number 1 seed.
Well, how about Jake Browning?
Yeah. He had a great
How about him?
He had a great game. They decided to use Mixon. They decided
Yep.
to use
They decided to
double
open the
weapons.
playbook and let him throw and let him play,
Yes.
and look what happened. We went off. That
But
kid
is it
threw
easier to
354.
beat? Is it easier to beat a team without your best weapon? Come on.
Well, he didn't go. I mean, let's be honest. When did Trevor Lawrence go down?
All right.
Come on now.
I forget exactly.
Jake Browning's been a third string
it was in the
quarterback.
second half. It was in the second half. What did he go
until
to?
this year, right? Jake Browning was a third string quarterback. Jake Browning threw for 354.
I know. And maybe now, because it was do or die.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Jaguars get off rails.
It was a good game. It wasn't a 16-13 game.
No.
Right? High scoring game, super competitive.
Good Monday night game.
Fun game, right? You wish I wish all these standalone games were that way.
Yeah.
Right? That was a lot of fun. And then we saw this snoozer on Thursday night where New England was up big, then almost gave it back to Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh couldn't get over the hump. And
I think Pittsburgh's done now. I honestly think stick a fork in Pittsburgh. Sayonara.
Man, you are the flippiest of the floppies. I was just trying to say that, and you're like, "Oh, well, Pittsburgh's still in the playoff hunt," and I was like, "Are they?" Like,
well, after that,
like they got destroyed. Cleveland got destroyed, but I was like, "Man, we're already past Thursday. We're trying to lie to our listeners like we're not. We've been here before."
Listen. Okay.
Listen, for all the people that were on Sean about not going live with Ohtani, I want you to know that I'm the reason why we didn't, because Sean wanted to. And I was like, hold on, we just need to have some kind of integrity.
All right.
Sean can't spell integrity if you give him a head start.
Yeah, I'm crying here, man. You're making me laugh so hard. Okay. All right. Here. All right. So
I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, Sean. You do have a lot of integrity as a man. As a journalist, I shouldn't say that.
Listen. New England put the spanking on on Pittsburgh.
Stop being offensive. You know the Steelers stole that Super Bowl from my team in 2005.
I know.
Don't do that.
Listen. Here I am. I'm trying to watch Amazon for other stuff, and they're still trying to show me Thursday night's game. They're still trying to show me. He's like, hey, you want to watch a rerun of Thursday night's game? No, I don't. I don't want to watch anything about Thursday night's game. Oh, yeah. Good for New England. Your record's a little better. Yay.
Oh, you have the third pick now instead of the second pick. Good job.
Yeah, that's it. Oh. Okay. Do you have the odds up? Because I don't have the odds. Do you have the odds?
Let's see. The site doesn't. This is the same site I usually use. I don't have the odds. I have the ticket prices. Let me see if I can find the odds.
Let me see. I'll find the odds here.
Well, you're gonna be on the Google and or whatever you got. I got the odds here right here. Let's go.
Let's go.
Buccaneers Falcons, which, if you would believe this, is tied for the lowest ticket price of the week. Tampa Bay at 5-7 going to the Atlanta Falcons at 6-6. Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite. You can see this game for $34.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta. Hot Atlanta.
Wow.
Get some wings and get a haircut at Killer Mike's Barbershop. What's that?
That's crazy.
$34. Conversely, you can go to Chicago and watch Detroit go in and beat the brakes off Chicago in Chicago and freeze your balls off for $106. Oh, I lied to you. It's way bad. Holy shit! I lied. There's some cheap tickets this week. Good God, man! If you are a Houston Texans fan in the New York area, you can see your team play for $8. Anyway,
all right. What's the over under here for Atlanta Tampa? Because this is a big game. This is a big game for both teams.
I don't know what the over under is, but it's a 2.5-point favorite.
Okay, 2.5-point favorite for Atlanta. At home. Wow. Okay,
at
so
home.
it's a pick'em game too, and Tampa needs to win this game to stay relevant.
I like Baker Mayfield in this game, actually.
You do?
Yeah, with him and Mike Evans, they seem to find their rhythm finally.
Well, let's hope that they
You
can get
know,
it done. They have to get
last
it.
week, Mike Evans became only the second receiver to have 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know who the
That's
other one is?
amazing. Oh, that would be Jerry Rice, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we sleep on Mike Evans a lot, right?
We
When we think
do.
about
Well,
one
he
of the best
has
receivers
had the
ever.
honor of playing in Tampa, so
He's won championships, right? Won
yeah.
thousands, a championship, 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Really, he's only had one good quarterback.
I was just going to say that because he's had Fitzmagic, and I don't know who else that he's had in
Tom Brady.
that decade. I mean, whoever that they were just bringing in mediocrity until you had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
that's impressive alone, right there.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Rice had mediocrity too, right? I mean, he's had Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Yeah. That's super mediocre. Joe Montana and Steve Young. Yeah.
You could argue that Mike Evans had a harder path to his 10,000.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, I think I like Tampa in this game. You know,
I'm going to go with Tampa as well. I think it's an upset. They're playing for the playoff lives, and Atlanta. Hey, they win.
Playing for the playoff lives too, right? This is a division game.
It is. It's win lose one though for Atlanta.
I just don't trust. I don't trust Atlanta's offense. I don't think they have an identity, and I just think it's.
Do you think Ritter is going to be the guy next year? Do you think he's the guy again next year as a QB?
I don't know what the problem is there. I don't know that he's the problem. So maybe they give him another shot. A year is hard to evaluate a rookie quarterback.
He's not a rookie.
Guy. Whatever. First year guy, first year starter, right? Second year guy. Yeah. It's hard to evaluate a guy 1 year, especially when you have a team that's not great.
We'll see.
Man, I'm really taking apart. Like, your cheeks are so smooth. Did you just get a shave? Or you have a filter on? Or like, what's the deal there? Like, your cheeks are like baby smooth. Like, it's very off-putting. I can't get there if it's like a filter or you just shaved.
No filter. This is real. This is me.
Yeah. You got any skin product you're using? You want to?
I do use a skin product. Yes.
A new one? I mean, I do too. But using a new one, you're just like right here is just real smooth. Like, it's just like Snapchat filtered out. Like, it's blended. You got some makeup on?
No makeup. No.
Huh.
If I take this hat off, you're going to see bedhead like crazy.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. We wouldn't see your eyebrows, though. And then moving on, Indianapolis and Cincinnati. In Cincinnati.
Did we even talk about Detroit and Chicago? No?
Oh, that's later on the list.
Okay. Well, Indy and Cincinnati.
On my points list, that's down the line a little bit. So let's just give me a second here.
Yeah.
Indianapolis going to the Bengals. Cincinnati's a 2.5-point favorite. Colts with a better record this year. Give me the Bengals at home.
Yeah. Just like that.
I'm a big Jake Browning guy, man. I'm not rolling off my guy.
DeForest Buckner he's gonna have to deal with. He's gonna have to
Don't care.
He's gonna have to deal with Jonathan Taylor.
No Jonathan Taylor this week.
Again. Well,
he had surgery. He's out for 3 weeks. Not worried about it.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game, though.
Cincinnati's been knocking out quarterbacks left and right, dude.
Yeah. Give me Indy in this one. I'm going to go with Indy again.
Okay.
Let it ride, baby. Let it ride.
Let it ride. Calm down, Russell. The 8-4 Jaguars travel to the 7-5 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland with a 3.5-point favorite in this game.
Cleveland 3.5-point favorite.
You can go watch this game for $11 if you're in the Cleveland area.
I believe it.
$11.
Yeah. And you be freezing.
Will not be warm.
And so will Jacksonville. So the last game I went to in Cleveland was actually against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jacksonville beat Cleveland but that was also the 0-16 Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Was it in December?
It was in November. Yeah.
Well.
So now we're into December, Jacksonville against Cleveland. And I'm surprised that Cleveland is actually the favorite because it really does depend on Trevor Lawrence. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play?
Yeah. It sounds like at least DTR. I mean, DTR is going to play for the Browns. I'm going to take Cleveland.
Yeah.
In this game, I think even if Lawrence plays, a high ankle is tough.
It is tough.
The weather is tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Ridley, Etienne, Lawrence matchup plays in the cold.
Yeah.
I just give me
Oh.
Cleveland. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you as well. I want Cleveland to win, so let's go that way.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Cleveland make the playoffs.
The Texans are going to visit the Jets. Houston's a 3.5-point favorite. If you're in the New Jersey area, you can see this game for $8.
Yeah.
$8.
Gross. That's gross. Houston's gonna roll over the Jets. The Jets season's over. Even if they trot out Aaron Rodgers, you think Aaron Rodgers is ready to go? Even if they trot him out right now.
No.
Yeah.
They're 4-8.
Yeah.
He's not coming out.
Yeah, they're done. And
I think they could run the table and not make it.
Yeah. You know what, though? I'm so happy that Houston is having this kind of a season this year.
Yeah.
It's good.
Couldn't happen to a nicer team, right? A nicer group of people. Owner
Absolutely.
sucks. I'm excited for Lovie Smith for how it played out for him. I think that's the great thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Texans for both of us there.
Yeah.
The Rams at 6-6 are traveling to Baltimore, coming off a bye week. The 9-3 Ravens are 7.5-point favorites in this game.
Can you disagree with that?
No, you can see this game in Baltimore for $23, which is insane.
Especially
Los Angeles seems to be getting some things figured out on offense. I don't think Baltimore's defense is fooled by that.
No.
Harbaugh has them fellas playing. They want the number 1 seed. I think it's Baltimore all day long.
I do too. I think that 7.5 is fair. If they don't go beyond that, I mean, quite honestly, this is a great team, the Ravens. And
coming off a bye week.
Figure it out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So good luck.
You give me Baltimore and the points.
Yeah.
9-3 Lions visiting the 4-8 Chicago Bears. Detroit's got a 3-point cushion in this game.
3 points in Soldier Field. That's great. Great.
This ticket is $106. You believe that?
Yeah, it's because Detroit's a team this year, baby.
Do you think people in Chicago really want to see Detroit? I mean, it's a division game.
But I think people in Detroit are going to travel to Chicago.
Oh, interesting. That'd be something to watch.
Not that far. It's not that far.
I don't know what to say about this game other than I think that maybe the Bears offense gets on track because Detroit's defense is still an Achilles heel to some degree.
Yeah.
If the weather plays nice, Justin Fields potentially has a big day. But Detroit's offense just runs all over this Chicago defense, right? I mean,
all day long.
Yeah.
All day
Are you surprised? I think Detroit goes for 45, 50 points.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Highest scoring game of the weekend, probably Lions and Bears.
I think so.
The 1-11 Panthers, sans a head coach and everyone else in that stadium, traveled to the Saints for the 5-7 Saints to have a 6-point favorite there. Saints are a little resurgent, right? They're trying to get a scrap in. They're seeing what's what.
Saints
hanging around the bottom end.
Yeah. I think Carolina will make it interesting, but
I don't think they even make it interesting. I think the Saints win 28-3.
The Saints are just going to go marching in, eh? Just
Yep. Saints are there to plunder. Speaking of plundering, the Minnesota Vikings are going to visit the Los Angeles Raiders. The 6-6 Vikings are facing the 5-7 Raiders. The 5-7 Raiders are probably going to be fighting for their playoff lives, you would imagine.
But you would think Minnesota's fighting for their
Minnesota's favored by the 3 points there.
Yeah, I think Minnesota is due to get back on track. But the thing is, though, is that since this new coach has come in for the Raiders really turned that ship around. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
Minnesota gets Justin Jefferson back, and by all accounts, he's excited to work with Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
And so, we'll see a whole new element of that offense, right? They've been clicking on offense pretty well already. Now you're going to put arguably the best receiver in the game back in the – and he's not coming off of a major injury. He's coming off a hamstring strain. So
that's right. Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I can't go against
it. It's hard. It's hard not to say.
It's a hard one. I want to take the Raiders so bad because I love what Antonio Pierce is doing there with that team. I think that's a great – I hope he gets the job full-time after this year. I think they're really making the right moves, and it's turning. It's a home game. I think it's fun. I just think the Vikings have some momentum, and then getting their leader back is, a way to go for them.
Big news.
Yeah. Here's the game you're interested in. That's the 6-6 Bills. Bills a little light in the schedule there. visiting the 8-4 Kansas City Chiefs in a game that strangely both teams have to have.
They have to win it. Yeah.
The
I was just thinking that too.
1 point favorite here for the old Kansas City Chiefs at home, which really means the Buffalo Bills are favored.
Yeah, they are.
If you're doing the gambling math at home, folks, remember the home team gets 3 points by default. So with Buffalo being a 1 point underdog, they're really the 2 point favorite. So,
oh man,
what do you think, Sean?
I'm picking the Bills just really out of just my heart. That's it. They need this win.
What
Kansas
about your
City
wallet?
Still make the playoffs, losing one. So whatever.
What does your wallet say?
Both teams. Here's what
teams
wallet says. Stop. Here it is. They faced each other 5 times, both quarterbacks, right? Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 3-2. Josh Allen's 2-3. Every other number, though, is identical. Passing yards, interceptions, touchdowns. Every number is identical. I say it goes to 500. I am going, baby, with the Buffalo Bills. Even on my wallet. Yeah.
Not convincing. I'm taking the Chiefs. For obvious reasons. You know what's strange? This is off topic a little bit, but it has to do with the Bills. Is like, why are we bringing up McDermott pregame speeches from 2019 right now?
Who cares? Who cares?
Anyway, can we just please plead with the people of America to stop? Can we stop with revisionist shit?
I don't care that. It's just that,
I do. It wasn't dumb or hurtful.
Yeah.
He brought up 9/11 victims in a pregame speech in 2019.
I forgot about that. Is that what we're talking about?
Why are we here? Let's just stop with that. Let's stop being silly. Let's focus on things that matter.
How about we focus on things that matter, like the Seattle Seahawks going to Levi Stadium against San Francisco 49ers?
Yeah, San Francisco here with a 13-point favorite.
Of course they are. What is Seattle going to do against this team?
Cover. They're going to cover.
Honestly, you said that last time. You have no coverage. You have nothing against this team. What do you have? What do you have?
Covered. They covered points. They covered the point spread. It's a 9-point game last time too, and they covered.
No, 13 this time. You're talking about Dallas. That was a 9-point.
No. No. That Thanksgiving game was not that bad. They scored a late touchdown.
You out of it in the first half. You got a couple of lucky things. You were out of it. You were done.
Whatever.
Put a fork in them. It's like, I don't know what Seattle can do. Seattle is terrible against their own division. What is this? Yeah, you're going to beat Arizona twice. That's it.
Yeah. That's okay. Still make the playoffs.
Do you really think that they could beat the Niners? And I'm not talking about as I mean, I know your home side. I'm the same way. I'm a home.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, of course.
Not if Deebo Samuels is playing. I don't think so.
But the thing is like, this is such. I mean, I want to see Seattle do well. That's the problem. I do want to see them win this game.
Yeah.
I do. I'm just there, like, because I don't want to get emotionally invested and just get my heart ripped out.
Yeah.
Because you can't go up against a juggernaut. Like. Yeah. I was just watching. World War II. I was watching World War II stuff. Okay, yesterday there's a new documentary that just came out about World War II recolored.
You are showing your age. But
yeah, well, that. Yeah, anyways, I watched it, and it's so funny about like Germany. Like everybody thought that they're going to come across the Maginot Line to invade France. France thought that England was there. They come around the Ardennes Forest and come in, and all of a sudden force Britain back into Dunkirk to escape, right? So this is what the 49ers right now and the Seattle Seahawks look like to me. It's like, what are you going to do? This is a juggernaut.
Yep.
What do you do?
You try and scheme it. I think the more I watch Seahawks football this year, and I watch what Sean McVay and Shanahan are able to do, and the more I think that maybe Pete Carroll's sunsetting and it's time for us to go a new direction.
That's a hard thing for you to say.
Yep.
When you say that.
Yep. It is hard.
Do you think it's time for Geno Smith to go?
I think that he's just been a bridge quarterback this whole time. I think they're trying to find someone else. I mean, he's only got, after this year, a year left on his deal, right?
Yep.
So I think
but
that there's
the
some
thing is that you're too good
transition.
to get another quarterback. You're too good to be looking at like an early pick for a quarterback. So it's like,
I don't think that it necessarily is an early pick for a quarterback, right? I think there's other ways to do it. We've been successful that way before.
True enough.
So
okay.
There's got to be a way out. I mean, the defense is young and improving, right? The line is finally back. This is like only the second week in a row the line has been fully intact since at all ever this year. Maybe we'll have our starting running back together again, right?
That hurts too.
Walker's going to play.
That hurts too.
Injuries are just a real thing, and they're part of the game. They're not excuses, but that's part of where it's been. You think about, we started a rookie in Zach Charbonnet, and had DJ Dallas as a backup against Dallas, right? And still put up all those points. The scheme looked better, and with the actual line that we were supposed to have. If Abe Lucas doesn't have that stupid, doesn't block Micah Parsons on 4th and 10 so that Geno can actually throw the damn ball by setting his feet instead of just lobbing it out there, maybe we have a different drive. There's small things that have to happen. The record's different. So I see 6-6 as a different record than everyone else does, but I watch the games and I don't just react to the box score.
I still feel that the whole turning point was that Cincinnati game. That was a whole turning point for their season.
Yeah.
I knew right at that point, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. And it will be, and it's probably going to be, we back into the 7th seed and we lose in the first round of the playoffs, so we draft in the 20s again and yada, yada, yada. But I think there's a bright spot in all of the talent groups are full and under contract for the next 3 years minus quarterback. And if that's the only hole you have to fill, then you can go fill that. We don't have any major contracts that are out. We haven't overpaid anywhere, right? So
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Anyway.
And I love going into Seattle to watch a game. It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah. And Seattle always plays San Francisco tough, right? So I still think they cover. I think 13 points is too much. I don't think they win. I think they cover.
We'll have to see. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I really want to see them do well. I do. It's just I feel like I'm just going to get my heart ripped out. That's it. But
yeah,
having said that,
well, it's because all the other teams suck too. That's what the problem of having 4 or 5 teams is. If you just had one team, you could do it, but you get your heart ripped out by 3 or 4 teams, and then then it hurts more. Just reopen the scab over and over and over.
That's journalistic integrity. Okay. All right.
Something. And then moving back right along there, we're let's see. We've talked about that game. We've talked about that game. You got me off track. Oh, it's Broncos Chargers.
Yeah.
AFC West matchup. I hope they both lose. Chargers somehow favored by 2.5 points. Their offense is pathetic. Their defense is atrocious. The Broncos found some way to screw up winning in Houston.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, that was going to be a 4th quarter Russell comeback, but
that was the one I got right. Because I got that one wrong. You said the Texans.
I got it right.
I had
the Texans winning it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with the Broncos on this one, though.
I think the Broncos win this game. Also, I think they win on the road in a divisional matchup, go to 7-6, and sneak themselves even firmly more into the playoff scenario.
Absolutely.
Which makes that game for Kansas City even more important, right? I think they just, that AFC West is real bundled in.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Who would have thought, there's a chance to take the AFC West? Who would have thought that? Nobody.
Who would have thought?
Nobody.
Who would have thought? And maybe the most overhyped game of the week, it's Eagles visiting the Cowboys, with the Cowboys being 3.5 point favorites on Sunday Night Football.
Is it the most? Do you think so? These two
teams overhyped. I don't think it's a good matchup at all.
They hate each other. This is
they hate each other, but on paper, that I think it's something silly like 34-1 over the last 35 games after teams have played the 49ers, they haven't won the following week.
Right. So you're saying that this is gonna hold true.
I think the Eagles lose again. It
Dallas?
hurts my feelings because I don't want the Cowboys to win.
Yeah.
You know, if they could tie this game, I'd be happy.
I hate picking Dallas.
Yeah, I do too.
But I want to pick Dallas.
Yeah.
Because I hate Philadelphia that much too. It's like, and really,
I don't hate Philadelphia. I just don't believe in them.
Yeah. Oh no, Philadelphia's a paper tiger.
Yeah,
they're both paper tigers. They're both going to be exposed once you have to go up against the 49ers. They'll both.
If you look at who Dallas has beaten, it's nobody. The best team that Dallas has beaten
to Arizona.
The best team that Dallas has beaten is the 6-6 Seattle Seahawks, who we know have problems.
Yeah.
And the vaunted defense gave up 35 points to a Seattle Seahawks defense that did their offense that didn't have their starting running back.
Yep. No, I
think needed and really
tigers.
and maybe this is a biased opinion. I'll give you that, but I also feel like I'm somewhat validated by what we saw across the board during that game. Was a terribly officiated game.
Absolutely.
And so you're talking about a game that was like 6 points to a 6-6 team.
Yeah.
Like they're not that good.
No, they're not.
But,
and as I said, they'll all be this is San Francisco 49ers are going to expose. They're going to be like the great exposers, and they will expose these false top-rated teams very quickly. Very quickly.
The NFC is very shallow this year.
Absolutely. But having said that, so is the AFC when you really think about that in the regards of like, okay, so we have all the quarterbacks, but really the records do not reflect that.
Yeah, I think it's more competitive though. I think that the playoffs will be, like who's going to stop the 49ers in the NFC?
There's nobody.
Right? But then you go to the AFC, right? And then you talk about, okay, you've got Baltimore, you've got Miami, you've got Kansas City if they can figure it out.
Do you have Miami?
Maybe.
I don't know about Miami. I'm not going with Miami.
Sure. If they're clicking though, if they get if like that offense clicks, if Miami gets, let's just say this, right? Miami is 9-3, fighting for the number 1 seed, right? Right now they hold the number 1 seed in the AFC. Miami does.
Yeah.
If Miami clinches the number 1 seed with how they score at home, who beats them at home?
Anybody beats them at home.
They score 40 points a game at home.
Who cares? Did you see the teams they had to play against? Talk to me again when you got to play the Chiefs or you got to play the Bills or you got to play somebody that's real. Okay, talk to me there.
Have they played the Bills already?
Yeah,
twice, right?
They played them once. There's still another one.
What's the record?
Oh, they're 0-1. They got smoked in that game.
Okay,
they got smoked against the Chiefs too. So don't tell me that Miami somehow has got this thing figured out. Their record is just because they've beaten and feasted on subpar teams, okay? And again, on Monday night, what are they playing? A subpar team. So, I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know.
They beat the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Giants, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Jets, the Commanders. They lost to the Eagles, the Bills, and the Chiefs. They did not get smoked by the Chiefs. It was a 21-14 game.
Okay, so they made it closer with the Chiefs. Whatever.
And 2 of their losses are on the road.
Cool. Talk to me once they beat a real team.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. Sean and Brad back. We just had a little brown out there. It's a little blustery today. So if it felt like I hung up on Sean, I did, only through Mother Nature. So it's one of my superpowers. I just summon the wind.
Yeah. I'm right about these Dolphins. They're a joke.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That's fine.
And they're gonna win.
They're 13-point favorites against the Titans at home, Sean. How are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Dolphins or Titans? Dolphins or Titans? Huh?
They'll be 10-3 after this.
There we go. See?
Yeah.
All that blustering and still.
Well, I'm not stupid. I'm just saying the playoffs. Come playoff time,
Mm,
don't talk Dolphins to me. I don't know.
mm.
They'll have to figure that out. Yeah.
You only play the teams you're scheduled. Last game of the week. Packers are going to the Giants. Green Bay's a 6.5 point favorite. Might as well be 7.5 point favorite. I think this game is,
Yeah.
the
Brian
Packers have
Dable,
to have it. Giants don't care.
they could play spoiler, absolutely, but I feel that Green Bay.
Do you think the Giants care?
I don't know. I don't know. Is Brian Dable's job on the line?
I think it is, but do you think the players care? I think he's lost the locker room. What do you think?
I don't think he's lost the locker room. I don't think so. I mean, Daniel Jones. I mean,
Daniel
Brian
Jones
Dable
isn't going to play
is
the rest of the year. He had neck
whisperer.
surgery.
He's
They've
the
got
quarterback whisperer, and
They
Daniel
got the
Jones,
kid whose mom still makes his bed, and is
Yeah, I was
named
just
after a
gonna say-
Goodfellas character.
Is Daniel Jones? Is he literally? Is he a top tier quarterback? Is he even?
Listen, 100. Listen, don't hang me for this, but I would not hate Daniel Jones as a Seahawks quarterback with a decent contract.
Interesting.
Because while he's not a top tier quarterback,
Yeah.
I think he's a top 11 to 20 quarterback, and that guy can win you a championship with an elite defense and a good offense. That's what I think.
Interesting.
Is he top 5, top 10? No. But with the weapons Seattle has and the defense Seattle's building,
Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm just saying though that Green Bay's got that game.
yeah, I agree.
In the bag. That's over. Say you. Huh? What say you?
Yeah, I
With
think
Green
it's
Bay and the Giants. It's over, right? That game's over.
Yeah.
Before it even began. Yeah. Before it even began. Crazy
Two
stuff.
Monday night games, and they're both probably going to be snoozers.
Yeah, it is. You can't pick it, right? You just can't pick what they are showing as far as that's concerned. Are you disconcerted right now about your Seattle Kraken with a losing record of 8-13?
No, I mean, it looks like the inaugural season all over again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. They can't keep their skates on the damn ice. They can't score a goal.
It's
I mean,
scary.
they've been able to tighten up the defense a little bit, it feels like, because the scores have been down, but they haven't been able to score offensively. So it's like they've swung too far the wrong way.
Well,
I don't know what the deal is.
They made no moves. They made no moves in the offseason. And it shows they made no moves in the offseason.
But what's wild about that, and maybe this is just what I don't understand, is how do you go from being so proficient offensively and so negligent defensively, right? Because that's what they were last year. Last year they could score, but they gave up more than they scored, right? And the only move you make is to get a goaltender, a backup goaltender, right?
Yeah,
that's all they did.
You added no depth in your line.
Correct, but all we did was swap backup goaltenders. Essentially, it's the only thing we did.
Yeah.
And now we can't score any goddamn goals, but we also don't give up any goals. And so now instead of losing 6-5, we lose 2-1.
I mean, I don't know. You're going up against some very, very hot teams right now. Like Vegas is in your division, and they're juggernauts this year.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Kings have won their past 10 road games. They're tough. And the Canucks somehow have found out how to play hockey. So those three teams alone are pushing you guys down. Besides, you have Edmonton and Calgary, who I don't think really will make it out anywhere. And that's tough. That's tough sledding when you have seriously, you have the Kings and the Knights. You have Cam Talbot on the Kings looking like he's been the greatest goaltender to ever play the game. And I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for Seattle. I think that they should have made some moves, but I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to build the culture in there, right? So you're thinking to yourself, okay, we could be like Carolina. We don't need a superstar. We just have a bunch of stars on the team. But the thing is Jared McCann a star? You know what I mean? Like some of those guys that you have, are they really stars yet? Matty Beniers, you won Rookie of the Year. You got to take the next step. It's we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't think DeCord is ready for prime time yet either. He's not ready to take over that
Yeah, I
position.
don't disagree. How late in a season and do you decide that you just pull the plug on the whole year?
Oh, I think you're thinking around now. You're thinking now, and
It
then
just
you're
started.
I'm sorry, but around American Thanksgiving, you know where the teams are ending up.
Okay, well, I have bad news for you. We're not going to go to any games this year.
Why is that? Why is that, Brad? Is that because you don't want to see Seattle get beat up? Is that it? Oh, Brad is frozen. Is that because you don't want to see Seattle get beat up there, Brad? Is that it?
I don't pay for games that I know are going to be trash.
We're going because you got to watch.
Baseball.
You got to watch. I mean, listen, my Leafs they're not any much better. They're not much any much better. I mean, okay, well, they're a lot better as far as the record is concerned, but I mean, we're still like not in the top three. We're not in the top three in our division. We're in a wild card position. Patrick Kane made his debut with the Red Wings there last night. Don't know how that went. I wasn't really paying attention. I thought the Florida Panthers were not going to be able to make it with all the injuries that they have. Look at them. They're number 2 in the division. And Boston, I thought, no way, they're going to fall off. They're number 1. And, of course, on the other side, you have New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers, who I didn't even see coming, the Islanders, and, like, the teams that I thought, like the Hurricanes, they're on the outside looking in. So it's like the Leafs right now and the Hurricanes are the 2 wildcard teams on the East. And that's very interesting. On the West, it's right now the Coyotes and the Predators. So
who?
Coyotes and the Predators. Yeah.
They're still relevant?
The Coyotes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've actually turned it around, that culture there this year, and they look pretty good.
Is Wayne Gretzky walking through that door?
No, he's not. He did. He was an old owner of the
Arizona. I know.
Coyotes, yeah.
Huh.
But no.
You don't say.
You know, it's interesting because the Chicago Blackhawks and the Seattle Kraken have pretty much the exact same amount of wins. So,
okay.
I really hope Seattle could turn it. I do.
We'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
NBA
in better news.
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say in better news, we have the NBA in-season tournament, which has been more fun to watch than I thought it was going to be.
I cannot believe how many people are into this right now.
It's so much fun. I wish that it was during the dead season of sports so that we could give it more justice, but man, it's a good time. The games matter. The players actually care, which is crazy.
Yeah, because the NBA left a bad taste in my mouth in the offseason with people like, Harden and them like, I don't want to trade. But this in-season tournament,
pretty cool.
Yeah, not bad.
Cool. It's nice that, guys even like LeBron is like, because they're asking him about, if $500,000 moves in the uniform still. And he was like, yeah, it's $500,000. Like,
so do you think that one game that they played against the Suns, LeBron got away with that timeout?
Yeah.
When they didn't have possession of the ball.
Mm.
I know refs make mistakes all the time. Do you think that there was other calls that was made not in LeBron's favor, that this is like all of a sudden like the return of karma? You know what I mean? Like,
I have no idea. And again, I mean, it goes back to that conversation earlier about NFL refs. Like, you've got to have some oversight to correct those things.
The refs
we just have too much technology to allow that to happen now. Like,
the refs are terrible at all the major sporting events. They're terrible.
We have too much access to information right away. Like as slow as Major League Baseball has been, to embrace change, they've done a really good job of replay.
Absolutely. And
everything's that way, and it's not at the hands of the guys at the field.
No. And I appreciate that.
And I think it's the same way in college football. And we know it can be done. Like, if you watch college football, it's so much faster now because they'll be like, oh, hey, replay from upstairs, and they wait for a second, and like, oh, here's the call. There's no like ref walking over and longer timeout. The game doesn't take longer.
Yeah.
Like they have it figured out. And that's what's crazy is they have all this revenue they're making and they can't reinvest it into making a better product. Stupid. So
yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. But yeah, besides that, so we got Pacers against the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it's today at 5:30 our time, so 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I think the Pacers are a fun team to watch. I think LeBron really wants his first championship, in-season championship, because he wants that to be like part of his legacy.
Right. Yeah.
So
why not?
I also think it's crazy how like out in the open he is about owning a team. I don't know if you saw the interview this week, but he was like, "Yeah, I hope to bring my team to Las Vegas someday." And I was like, "God, wow, elite man, LeBron!" Like just saying, like, "I'm bringing my team to Las Vegas someday," and I was like, "Golly, that's crazy."
I appreciate that, though. I
do too. It just was brazen to hear it come out of his. You know what I mean? Like because we haven't heard it.
He's not treating us like fools. Like I got to play around this. It's like
Yeah, I agree. But it was just
know,
it caught me off guard, and I appreciate it, but also I was like, man, that's.
Now I'm sure if you're an owner of an NBA team, you're there going,
yeah,
yeah.
For
Come
sure.
on, it can't be the first
sure.
time that he's talking about it. It's
no, it's not. It's he's been talking about behind closed doors, trying to get it done, and now it's
yeah. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I also appreciate the fact he's not treating us like idiots.
Yeah, I 100% do. Also, I think I think that I think when it's all said and done, there's going to be a couple ways that we look at professional basketball and who the greatest of all time was. And I know how you feel or how I feel about Michael Jordan being the greatest player of all time. And I still feel that way. LeBron James might be the most influential player of all time when it's all said and done. And I think it's important that there's a distinction in those two categories.
I think that statistically speaking, yeah, he's going to be the greatest. But when it comes to ice cold water in the veins, come on.
It's Mike.
Yeah. Like,
but I even mean like how the game is played. I think, like LeBron's going to leverage this out, and like LeBron might be the guy that changed, like similar to what Magic has done post career.
Right.
LeBron might be able to do some of those things in career and leverage change in ownership laws, right? And those things. And he's been influential in salary caps and player rights and all these things, right? He's played a role. He played a role in the bubble. Like he is a very influential player and has made the game better. Like I hate when the argument feels like when you say Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all time, people take it as a slight against LeBron. I think they're two separate conversations. LeBron is the most influential player of basketball's history. But I still think Michael Jordan's the best.
Yeah.
And I think those are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're not mutually inclusive of each other. You know what I mean?
No, and I would love to have our friend Cam on again, because this is a conversation we had off camera that we need to have on camera.
Well, we will be having Cam on eventually here just before the NFL playoffs. So
yeah,
that's going to be good news there.
Good, because then he came to sign my book.
Hey, there you go. You can do it on camera. You can do it on camera.
He needs to sign my book, and then we need to have this conversation about influential versus the greatest ever. So.
And now that we've announced it, Cam, you can't just back out all of a sudden. You told me and behind closed doors, and now I'm just putting it out there. So, I mean, hopefully you weren't thinking you were like Shohei Ohtani and
no, Cam's a man of principle and integrity, Sean.
I totally agree. He's a great man.
Unlike others on this call.
Wow.
Hey, are those your Christmas decorations right there over your shoulder?
No, those are blankets.
Oh, for Christmas?
They were for Christmas bags, yeah. For single sailors, yeah. So.
You're not going to give them out, or?
We did. There was just 2 extra. I don't know what to do with them.
Get cozy.
All right. Hey, I think we've come to that time where we get to play a little
one-on-one. This is the question I want to ask you today.
Oh.
Is there a universally accepted topping for hot dogs that you feel like is unacceptable?
Like what? Ketchup? I love ketchup. I love mustard.
On a hot dog?
That's great. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Ketchup is never okay in a hot dog. I'm just telling you right now.
You're weird. You're weird. You're
Nope.
a weirdo. How can you say ketchup's not great in a hot dog?
I'm not saying it's just not acceptable.
It's so American. I
It's
don't know.
not.
I don't know. You're probably into soybeans and stuff. I don't know.
Nope. Negative,
about you,
Ghost
Brad.
Rider.
I don't know what to
Negative.
think about you, bro.
Negative.
You just said some
Onions.
real crazy
Onions are
stuff
good.
right there. That was crazy.
Certain kind, like any kind of mustard, right? You can go with ground mustard if you want. Relish, always acceptable. Pickles will take. You can have some peppers on there.
I'll go with
Cream
pepper.
cheese if you're in Seattle. Only if you're in Seattle.
Cheese.
Listen, only if you're in Seattle. Only if you're in Seattle.
Ugh,
Never ketchup.
so weird. So weird, dude.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay. All right. Wow. That's so weird. You're a weirdo. I love you, man, but you're a weirdo.
Same. I'm not wrong.
All right. I got a question for you. And I've been
Eat a
asking
hot dog without ketchup and tell me I'm lying. Be the best hot dog you ever had. I'm just saying. Just try it one time. Just try it.
Make it for me. Make me a hot dog with a little bit of this cream cheese, and we'll see. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because I'm not about to go spend my money on that to find out. That's not what's going on here.
Well, you're not a real connoisseur of food then.
No.
Anyway.
Mama didn't raise no fool. Why would I want to do that? Why?
Because you can always add more. If you take a bite of it and you're like, oh, this isn't as great as you said it was, you just add the
rid
ketchup.
of it, and there's it has contact to it. It's like, no, it's wasted.
Oh, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
It's the waste. No. It's the same thing if you're cooking and taking a crap. It's like, I don't know if there's.
That's not even the same realm.
We're in the same. Yeah, that's in the same.
That's
ballpark.
not even the same realm.
It's the same ballpark. Okay. All right. So my question to you, I've been asking this question to a countless amount of people here, and I need to know. It's a would you rather. So, Brad, would you rather try to block Aaron Donald, or, and you can't move, take a full punch from Tyson Fury? Would you rather?
And I can't block it. Like we're not sparring.
You got to take it. And you gotta block Aaron Donald. Which one?
I mean, is he coming out of a 3-point stance, or is he just like bull rushing me? Like
He's bull rushing you. He's going for that quarterback. He wants that quarterback.
Well, like, is he coming out of a stance, or is he just like 2-point running at me like a linebacker?
No. He's coming out of a stance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would rather take Aaron Donald than I would rather take a punch.
Wow. You got some faith.
No, I'm just gonna put my hands like towards Aaron Donald's pecs, and he's gonna push me down on my back and knock the wind out of me, and that's fine. I'll have a story to tell about the time Aaron Donald ran me over.
Yeah.
I'll rather tell that story than drink soup through a straw for 6 months. Well, I try to tell people about how persevering punching in the jaw. You know what I'm saying? You saw what he did to Francis Ngannou. I don't have that kind of chin. Whoever said they'll take a punch from Tyson Fury is a liar. I'll just tell you that right now. They don't want that smoke.
Well, it's funny. Nobody wanted to take a punch from Tyson Fury.
No.
Nobody. I'll block Aaron Donald.
All day long. All day long. Okay, folks, with that in mind, I want to remind you to be good or be good at it. Till next time.
Right out.